Jaya Girivaradari, Jai Gopi Janavalabha, Jaya Girivaradari, Jai Gopi Janavalabha, Jaya Girivaradari, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki, Shri Premdata Nityananda Prabhu ki, Shri Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Goda Hari ki, Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ju ki, Shri Pancha Tattva Bhagavan ki, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol, Samaveda Bhakta Binda ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Can I ask everybody here a big favor? If everybody here could come and sit on my lap. That means move all the way up. You can't. I got my shots. Don't worry. Please come close. Before I try to speak something on Srimad Bhagavatam as a service to Srila Prabhupada and his Seva Sangha and devotees, my revered spiritual master instructed me that we should offer prayers. Just as we offer prayers to Krishna, so we also offer prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam. So this takes about 5 minutes. And if you know some of these verses, you please recite with me. Narayanam namaskrityam naramschaiva narotamam devim sarasvatim vyasam tato jayam udirayat vedi ramayaneschaiva purane bharate tata adavante cha madhye cha hari sarvatra giyate mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande shri gurum dinataranam paramananda madhavam. In Orissa, traditionally before the time of television, the villages had what they call a Bhagavat Tungi, It's a place where all the villagers would come together every evening and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And there's a traditional song my Guru Maharaj grew up with, what they would recite before speaking on Bhagavatam. Paramananda, he Madhava, Padunga Luchi Makaranda, Se Makaranda Panakori, Anande Bolo Hari Hari, Harinka Name Vanda Vela, Parikori Be Chakadola, Se Chakadolanka Paraye, Manamo Rahu Nirantare, Manamo Nirantare Rahu, Ha Krishna, Boli Jiva Jao, Ha Krishna, Boli Jao Jiva, Moteu Dada Radha Dava, Moteu Dada Radha Dava, Moteu Dada Radha Dava. Dharma projita kaitavo tapadamo nirmatsranam satam Vedyam vastava mattavastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamune krite kimba parayishvara Sadyo hridyavarudyate trakritivishu shushu vistakshanat Nigamako pataro galitam phalam Shukamukadamitra dravasam yutam Pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam Mohoroho rasika bhuvi bhavuka Anarto pasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adhoksaje Lokasya janato vidvams chakre satvata samhitam Yasyam vaishyamanayam Krishne paramapurushe Bhaktirudpadyate pumsa shoka moha bhayapaha Srimad Bhagavatam paranamamalam yad vaishnavanam priyam Yasmin paramahamsamekam jnanam padam giyate Tatra jnana vairagya bhakti sahitam naiskarmyam aviskritam Tachchinvan supaten vicharana paro bhaktya vumuchin naraha Arto yam brahma sutranam Bharatartha vinirnaya Gayatri bhashuruposo Vedartha paribhrimitaha Sarva vedeti hasanam Sadam sadam samudritam Sarva vedanta sadam hi Srimad Bhagavatam ishyate Tadrasam rita triptasya Nanyatra swadvachi kuchit Krishna bhakti rasa swarup Shri Bhagavatam Tate Veda Shastra Hoite Padama Mahadva Chari Veda Upanishade Jata Kichu Hoya Tara Archa Lena Vyasa Korila Sanchaya Sutre Jeruk Vishaya Vachana Bhagavate Seruk Sloke Nibandana Jivera Nishtara Lagi Sutra Koilo Vyasa Mayavadi Bhashya Shunyale Hoya Sarvanasa Jaho Bhagavata Pada Vaishnave Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, the king of all literatures. It's nice to do this without a translator. This is Canto 3, Chapter 21, text number 19. So, Go ahead and recite this. Ekaḥ svayam san jagataḥ sṛjasya. Ekaḥ svayam san jagataḥ sṛjasya. Dvitīyayātmann adhi-yogamāyayā. Dvitīyayātmann adhi-yogamāyayā. Sṛjasy pāsi punar grasiṣyase. Sṛjasy pāsi punar grasiṣyase. Yathorṇa-nābhir bhagavan sva-śaktibhiḥ. Yathorṇa-nābhir bhagavan sva-śaktibhiḥ. Others? ūrṇa-nābhir bhagavan sva-śaktibhiḥ. Tat svayam san jagataḥ sṛjasy. Dvitīyayātmann adhi-yogamāyayā. Sṛjasy pāsi punar grasiṣyase. yathorṇa-nābhir bhagavan sva-śaktibhiḥ. You Matajis? Ekaḥ svayam san jagataḥ sisṛkṣayā. Dvitīyayātmann adhi-yogamāyayā. Sṛjasy sada pāsi punar. yathorṇa-nābhir bhagavan sva-śaktibhiḥ. Ekaḥ, one. Svayam, yourself. San, being. Jagataḥ, the universes. sṛjasy, with a desire to create. Advitīyayā, without a second. Ātman, in yourself. Adhi, controlling. Yoga-māyayā, by yoga-māyā. Sṛjasi, you create. Adaḥ, those universes. Pāsi, you maintain. Punaḥ, again. Grasiṣyase, you will wind up. Yathā, like. ūrṇa-nābhiḥ, a spider. Bhagavan, O Lord. Sva-śaktibhiḥ, by its own energy. Translation, my dear Lord, you alone create the universes. O Personality of Godhead, desiring to create these universes, you create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies, which are under the control of your second energy called yoga-māyā. Just as a spider creates a cobweb by its own energy and again winds it up. Please repeat. My dear Lord, you alone create the universes. O Personality of Godhead, desiring to create these universes, You create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies, which are under the control of your second energy, called yoga-māyā. Just as a spider creates a cobweb by its own energy and again winds it up. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, two important words nullify the impersonalist theory that everything is God. Here Kardama says, O personality of Godhead, you are alone, but you have various energies. The example of the spider is very significant also. The spider is an individual living entity, and by its energy it creates a cobweb and plays on it, and whenever it likes it winds up the cobweb, thus ending the play. When the cobweb is manufactured by the saliva of the spider does not become impersonal. Similarly, the creation and manifestation of the material or spiritual energy does not render the creator impersonal. Here, the very prayer suggests that God is sentient and can hear the prayers and fulfill the desires of the devotee. Therefore, He is Satchidananda Vigraha, the form of bliss, knowledge, and eternity. Goragraganya Gana Gotra Goloruharam Goranga Gudatama Gopyada Kopa Briksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namami Vanchakopa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I have to ask everybody here to please bless me and please be kind and overlook any of my shortcomings. It's a little hard for me to speak in the assembly of so many wonderful Vaishnavas, and especially today, that person I took initiation from in 1982 is here, Rameshwar Prabhu. It's very hard for me to speak in front of him. But if I say anything good, you can understand that it's because of his inspiration and his blessings. I'm so very happy to see him here today and all the devotees. So, Srila Sanatana Goswami, in his Braj Leela Stava, he says that Mad Eka Bandhu Mat Sangyan, that the Bhagavatam is my only friend, and the Bhagavatam will speak to me. Now, how does a friend speak to another friend? When the friend is speaking to another friend, does he have a piece of paper in front of him and he reads off some formal thing that he wrote the day before? No. You speak in a natural way according to that particular person in that particular time. So this verse and purport by Srila Prabhupada explains something about the dangers and fault of impersonalism. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that Kardama Muni is saying, O personality of Godhead, you're alone, but you have various energies. And so I was looking at this verse and purport today and thinking to myself that my humble service is to try to encourage the devotees and speak like a friend. But I don't think very many of the devotees here are impersonalists. I very much hope not. So I was thinking, then how is this relevant for us? And I was thinking of this statement of Srila Prabhupada in the purport. We're saying that Kardama Muni says, O personality of Godhead, you're alone, but you have various energies. And I was thinking about the word Advaita, The word Advaita, it's a samas, or compound word in Sanskrit. It's three words, Advaita, coming from dvi and ta. Means without, and Dvaita or dvi means dual. And ta means to have this quality of this thing. So Advaita means literally someone when we're one with someone else. Now in this sentence from Srila Prabhupada, he's saying that the Lord is alone, but he has various energies. And I was thinking for ourselves, we see this in the form of Guru, who Krishna declares very emphatically in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, Acharya mam vijanayan navamanyeta karichit, that you should understand Guru is none different from me. And we sing every morning in the Gurvastika prayers that Sakshadarit Vinastamasta Shastra, that all the different Shastras describe that Gurudev is none different from Krishna. So Prabhupada says, Krishna's alone, but you have various energies. Similarly, Guru is alone, he's one, but he has many energies and he expands himself. I'd like to try to discuss something about that today. A very confidential subject, actually, a little postgraduate. How Guru expands himself in the form of disciples and how they're one with Guru, but at the same time, they're different. Guru is alone, but he has his different energies. Srila Prabhupada described this nicely on a morning walk in Los Angeles in 1973. And he was describing a certain kind of class of devotees who he says they throw the Guru away. And they say, go away. I've now learned. And Prabhupada says, Guru Mara Vidya. What have they gotten? They've gotten the knowledge how to kill Guru. Guru Mara Vidya. Their philosophy is that you take a ladder, but as soon as you go up the ladder, then you throw the ladder away. I don't need it anymore. And Prabhupada says that is Mayavad philosophy. Our philosophy is Jayam Stuvams Tashyayashas Trisandyam. I should always remember and praise the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day I should offer my respectful obeisances under the lotus feet of my spiritual master. So our philosophy, as all of you well know, in Gaudiya Vaishnavism is a Chincha Bheda, a Bheda Tattva. It's simultaneously one and different. I'd like to share with you one of my favorite articles from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, which he published in The Harmonist. It's quite an earful. I'm just reading from some section of it. It's called The Associates of Sri Chaitanya. And in this article, he speaks about the first verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita and how Krishna, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, is a expanded subject. And if you want to understand him, you have to understand his 6 features, the Panchatattva and Guru. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta explains, the Guru is the embodiment of the manifestation of the divinity to the pure receptive spiritual essence of the disciple. Maybe I should translate that? Okay, the Guru is the embodiment. He's a manifestation of the divinity. When Krishna manifests a form, that's Guru. And who does he appear to? Not just anyone and everyone. Srila Prabhupada appeared to so many persons, and some appreciated him, and sadly some didn't. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta says that the Guru manifests to the pure, receptive, spiritual essence of the disciple. When there's some purity, a purity of desire, a purity of a desire to receive, which is the essence of the disciple. My Guru Maharaj used to call it ātma-krandana, or the crying of the soul. When the person starts crying in the heart, oh Krishna, who am I? I need your help, please send someone. That's the pure, receptive, spiritual essence of the disciple. And he goes on, the Guru is the real an original recipient of the truth. Okay? He communicates his knowledge to the disciple. But there's a problem. The disciple is too small a particle to be able by himself to receive the whole truth. He's enabled to receive that truth through the power of the guru. The guru, as it were, takes the disciple by the hand and guides his every step on the plane of the absolute. It is perpetual tutelage on the part of the disciple. In other words, the disciple always feels, I'm the disciple of my guru. Not like what Srila Prabhupada was saying in that conversation in Los Angeles, that now I kill my guru. I've gotten everything I want from him. I don't need him anymore. And we might think, I've seen maybe some people, that what is guru for? In Orissa there's a saying, Kona Funka Guru. That what is guru? He's someone who funka spits in your ear. He gives the mantra. In other words, it's the attitude of someone who doesn't really have faith in guru. They see guru as just some ecclesiastical, institutional, social position, and I'm sick and tired of being called Bhakta Mark. So I want to get initiated. I don't get any respect around here. And if I get initiated, then everybody will give me respect, right? And that's the purpose of guru, right? Some persons think like that. But Bhaktisiddhanta says it should be perpetual tutelage on the part of the disciple. This fact may be expressed in another way. The cognitive faculty, the ability to perceive, the cognitive faculty of the individual soul can have no ground to stand upon unless the divinity himself condescends, agrees, to be the legs as well as the ground on which he's to stand to function at all. So, our ability to perceive spiritual matter, atā Sri Krishna nama adhi-yogamāyayā grayam indriyai. We can't perceive Krishna or his name with our mundane senses, but sevanmukihi jivado spayameva sparatyada. Padma Purana describes that when you do the same activity, swayameva, with your tongue, which is one of the panchagyanendriya, one of the 5 knowledge acquiring senses, but you do it as service. Tate Krishna bhaji kori gururu sevan. Chaitanya Charitamrita states that my nam bhajan, what is it? My nam bhajan is my guru seva. What is my guru seva? It's my nam bhajan. Because I'm not qualified to do nam bhajan. I'm not such an elevated person, but I want to please my guru. And how do I please him? By chanting Krishna nam. So the ability to perceive Krishna and Krishna's name, the individual soul has no ground. There's no possibility to stand on unless the divinity himself condescends to be the legs as well as the ground on which he's to stand to function at all. This function of the divinity is performed by the guru. As a matter of fact, the divinity actually reveals him only to himself. This is abheda. This is non-difference, which is part of our philosophy, and we'll come back to that. But how does guru do this function of being the ground as well as the legs on which we're to stand? Guru manifests in 2 ways. Diksha Guru and Siksha Guru primarily. The Diksha Guru is Sambandha Datta. He's the giver of our relationship. And that Diksha Guru is both a person and, as Srila Prabhupada many times says, a principle. It's a principle who connects us to the Sampradaya. Just as if you go to a bank, you make an account with a bank teller. He's a person, but it's a function that he's performing on behalf of the bank. And even if he loses his job or quits, you still have a connection with that bank. So the Diksha Guru is the ground on which we're to stand. And the Siksha Guru is the legs. He's a person who teaches us how to walk on that land. So he goes on. As a matter of fact, the divinity actually reveals him only to himself. Wow. What does that mean? Let's just go on a little bit further. I think it explains. The individual soul is a separable constituent of the guru. Wow. The individual soul is a separable constituent of the guru. And this is what I want to try to speak about today. How do we understand that one sentence? It's only when he happens to be associated by his own free choice with the guru in a completely dependent manner that he can be on the plane of the guru's service of the divinity. So, Rupa Goswami and his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, his masterpiece describing the science of bhakti, which Srila Prabhupada considered one of the most important books, one of the first books he gave in the form of nectar devotion. Rupa Goswami in the second chapter, he says there that Vishrambena Guru Seva. And the word Vishramba has a number of different meanings. It means to be intimate. It means to be respectful. But Vishramba also means to be one with Guru. How does a disciple do that? And we don't want to be Mayavadis, but our philosophy is achincha, inconceivable, beta abeta, a difference and non-difference. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I'll sing a verse, maybe you can chant Hare Krishna in response. Kaviraj Goswami describes, Diksha Kale Bhakta Kore Atma Samarpan Se Kale Krishna Tare Kore Atma San Bolo Hare Krishna Diksha Kale Bhakta Kore Atma Samarpana Se Kale Krishna Tari Kori Atma Sam. At the time of Diksha, Diksha Kale, Krishna considers that devotee who's getting initiated to be Atma Sam, non-different from himself. This is the philosophy of a beta. When someone gets that initiation, they're considered to be non-different from the Lord. But a minor detail, Atma Samarpan, it's not just that you get mantra, now I'm non-different from Krishna, but Atma Samarpana, when you completely surrender. That person who completely surrenders is non-different from the Lord. And Kaviraj Goswami goes on, Sehi Deha, Korita Chidanandamoy. That devotee's body, his Deha, Sehi Deha, Kori Chidanandamoy. It's transformed into something transcendental. And we see this with the devotees. They're amazing. They're so beautiful. They're so effulgent. You look at photos of them before they were devotee and after they were devotee. So he says that aprakrita dehi tanya charna bhajoy, that in that transcendental body, the devotee is able to render service to the Lord. So how does this work? Sanatana Goswami, again, in his Krishna Lila Stava, he says, Nama, Rupa Namashrita Vishta, that when we ashrita, we take shelter of the form of Gurudev. We take shelter of the form of the deity, Rupa, and Nama, we take shelter of Nam, Rupa Namashrita, then Avishta. Krishna enters into that devotee. And to some extent or another, depending on the degree of the devotee's surrender to Guru and Krishna, they become non-different from Krishna. That's why devotees are so beautiful, because they're always chanting Krishna's name. They're always reciting verses from Bhagavatam. So we see them as an aspect of that. In the Narada Pancharatra, it said, Mantra grahana matrena nado narayanatmakaha punati lila matrena purushanam satam satam. That as soon as someone mantra grahani, as soon as they get a mantra, Krishna mantra, then naro narayanatmakaha, they become situated on the same platform as the Lord. And punati lila matrena purishanam satam satam. Very easily, they deliver 100 generations of their family. Krishna mantra pasakanam sadyo darshana matrataha. Satajamarjitat papan muchate natrasangsayaha. Natrasangsa, don't have any doubt that just by sadyo darshana matra, just by seeing such a devotee, and it happens. People, sometimes they see a devotee on book distribution. They don't know what he's doing. They haven't read the book. Maybe they haven't even heard the mantra. But they just see, wow, this person's really special. He's really effulgent. Just by seeing a devotee who's mantrapasakanam. Mantrapasakam means that he's always chanting the holy name of Krishna. Then all satajamarjita papam, all the sins that someone has for 100 lifetimes, they become vanquished. So powerful are the devotees. So we should have firm faith that Gurudev is such a personality. He's a Beda. Yashadevi pada bhaktir yathā devi tatā guru tasyaite katita hyartaha prakashanti mahatmanaha. That our function is we should have faith in Gurudev. What kind of faith? We should have faith that Gurudev is acharya mam vijanayan. He's none different from Krishna. He's sakshadarit vinastamasta shastra. He's a manifestation of Krishna. And the disciple has no ability to render service unless he comes on the plane, the platform where Guru is. But the only way the disciple can do that, it's not just by konafanka guru, just by having someone say some mantra in your ear, but it's through complete surrender, through our sincere receptivity. And then at that time, they become a separable constituent of the guru. But this is a beta, this is non-difference. But there's also a beta. A beta doesn't mean a beta, it means a beta. Beta means there's a difference also. And in Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Sanatana Goswami, he says that in the first Vilas, which speaks about the behavior of a bona fide disciple, he says, Advaitam, that word Advaita is there, non-difference. Advaitam cha parityagya. That a bona fide disciple doesn't think, I'm non-different from Gurudev. It's not that you guys are really lucky today, here I am. I'm the manifestation of my Gurudev. Devotee should never think like that. As Srila Prabhupada describes in his purport, that Kapila Muni is saying that, O personality of Godhead, you're alone, but you have various energies. So we should understand that. Gurudev is one person, but he has many energies. And to properly respect him, we respect all those energies. I want to say something really ghastly. Please forgive me, but it's appropriate, I think. We follow Srila Prabhupada. Who is Prabhupada? A very simple definition. He's the person at whose pada all the Prabhus are sitting. So if you try to separate Srila Prabhupada's devotees from Srila Prabhupada, in effect, you're cutting off his feet. Don't cut off Srila Prabhupada's feet. We understand that he's Prabhupada because there's so many Prabhus surrendering to him. And we respect them as separable manifestations of Srila Prabhupada. But at the same time, that's a beta. There's also some beta. There's some difference. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wrote in Sajjanatoshini in 1915, at the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, those faithful to him kept apart from non-devotees to avoid contamination. Seeing this, the personality of Kali sent his representatives in disguise to pollute the Vaishnava Sampradaya. Posing as Vaishnavas, they spread their wicked doctrines and appeared so intelligent and devoted that only pure devotees could detect their real identity. Most devotees not only the most neophyte were enchanted by their tricks. In this way, Kali's agents expertly introduced karma, gyan, and anyabhilas in the Vaishnava Sampradaya and caused Sudha Bhakti to vanish from this world. Wow. Another lecture that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta gave 15 years after that, this was in Uttadanga in Kolkata. He said in that lecture, he said, one should not even see or converse with copan-dressed, impious hypocrites and followers of Kalanemi. It's a long story about Kalanemi, who disguised himself as a sage to kill Hanuman. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, Kali Maharaj takes different forms and disguises himself as a Vaishnava to degrade the people residing in sacred places and following the religious principles with the ulterior motive of committing sinful activities in the future in the name of religion. That's not acceptable at all. So it's a great responsibility that all of us have to this movement. It's an inconceivable responsibility. All of us are representatives of Srila Prabhupada. We're all representatives of our parampara, whether we're qualified or not, but we should be conscious of that. And we should be very, very careful how we behave. Srila Thakur Bhaktivinoda was quite a radical kind of person. And in two of his books, Krishna Samhita and in Chaitanya Sṛikṣayā, on the sixth wave of Chaitanya Sṛikṣayā, Bhaktivinoda gives kind of a novel explanation of the different obstacles to devotion, which represent primarily the different demons. And he says how these demons represent different obstacles on our path to Vrindavan. And the 12th obstacle is Pralambasura Vad. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says that Pralambasura represents Mayavad philosophy. So we want to think something about this verse in a relevant way for us today, and how the Lord is one, but He has His manifestations. Guru is one, but He also manifests in different forms. And Bhaktivinoda says, Pralambo dvadase choryam ātmano brahmavarinam pravishta krishna dasyepi vaishnavanam sutaskaraha. That sometimes this philosophy of Mayavad philosophy, it enters amongst the Vaishnavas in disguise, in the form of Pralambasura, to spread anarthas. Now in Chaitanya Sṛikṣayā, Bhaktivinoda in Bengali, he says, Pralambavada, Sri Lampatya Labha Puja Pratishtasa Durikarana. That Pralamba represents Sri Lampatya, lust for women, Labha, greed, Puja, desire for worship, and Pratishtasa Durikarana, some desire for position. So I'd like to say a few words about this Leela of Krishna killing Pralamba and some lessons that we can learn from that. This takes place in the 18th chapter of the 10th canto. And interestingly, in the 11th verse in that chapter, it describes that the devatas, the demigods, Gopajati Pratikshana, Deva Gopala Rupino, that sometimes they were disguising themselves, the demigods were disguising themselves as cowherd boys so they could get Krishna's association. Very interesting, because that disguise is the fault of Pralambasura. I've heard a quote accredited to Srila Prabhupada. I don't know if it's actually said or not, but it makes sense to me, so I'll repeat it. That apparently in Australia, Srila Prabhupada once told the devotees, don't think that you're Vaishnavas. Rather, you should think that you're like actors on the stage, dressing up in a role. But there's a benefit when you act out a role in a drama, then you get in the mood, you understand something of the mood of the person you're portraying. So acting like Vaishnavas gives us some opportunity to do that. So interestingly, this chapter 18 in the 10th canto speaks about Pralambasura Vad, and Pralamba's fault, as Bhaktivinoda says, is that he's coming in disguise. Now in his Gopal Champu, Jiva Goswami says something very wonderful. When Pralamba first arrived in that assembly of Krishna and the cowherd boys, that's the dangerous moment, right? If you're a spy with the KGB and you dress up like a Hare Krishna devotee, or you're with the CIA or whatever, the real tense moment is when you first enter the association of devotees. Are they going to recognize who you are? So Pralamba showed up as a cowherd boy. And when Krishna saw him, Jiva Goswami says, Krishna called it Bhadra Katam Vilambam Alalambasasa. He addressed him as Bhadra. Now, those of you who may know, Bhadra is a cultured expression, the way to greet a friend. It means something auspicious. Oh, Bhadra, you're a very auspicious person. And when the cowherd boys heard that, they thought, wow, this guy must be a special boy. Huh? But the word Bhadra has a number of different meanings. Bhadra also refers to an actor. Someone who's dressing up like something that they're not. And the word Bhadra has a third meaning in Sanskrit. It refers to a kind of Buddhist deity who promotes impersonalism. So Krishna packs up so many meanings. When he says, Yo Bhadra, and then Krishna tells him, Uchecha, Adarabhya Sabhya Mama Parama Sudad Bhavan Eva, Marama Parama Sudad, you're my best friend. Wow. And I don't want you to go anywhere separate from me. I know one sadhu who had a disciple who was a troublemaker, always promoting his guru as the best of all the persons. And privately, that guru once commented to one of his godbrothers, he said, actually that disciple's a demon. Later, that guru called for that disciple and said, I want you to be my secretary. And everybody thought, wow, he's very, very high, he's very close. And that godbrother of his went to him and said, Maharaj, I thought he was a demon. He said, yes, he is. He said, then why are you making him a secretary? And that sadhu, he replied, he said, because he's a demon, I want to keep him close to me so that I can watch over him. And so this was Krishna's motivation, his behavior with Pralambasura. And we know there was some tug of war, some competition. And the side with Pralambasura lost. And Pralamba then had to carry Balaram on his shoulders. And Pralamba is described that he was thinking, well, Krishna, this guy looks really powerful. But who is this Balaram? I'll take care of him. And he started carrying him away. And Jiva Goswami says that when Pralamba was carrying Balaram, Balaram became very heavy. Guru means heavy. Balaram is Adi Guru. And Pralamba couldn't tolerate the weight. So then Pralamba manifested his original true form, this huge demon. And he says at that time, Balaram became confused. Because Krishna said, Yo Bhadra, he's my friend, Paramasurid, you're my best friend. What's going on? And then Krishna looked at Balaram, kind of winked, and gave a little sign. And Balaram understood, oh, okay. Boom, boom. And Balaram killed him. So what's happening in effect there, Pralamba wants to illegally enter into Krishna's association by putting on a disguise and acting like something he's not. He has some respect for Krishna, but he doesn't respect Guru. He doesn't respect Balaram. And he's killed because of that. Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter, 18 September 1976. Prabhupada said, I'm also practically finding that if any of our students artificially try to become scholars by associating with unwanted persons, they become victimized. For a little learning is dangerous, especially for the Westerners. I'm practically seeing that as soon as they begin to learn a little Sanskrit, immediately they feel they become more than their guru. And then the policy is to kill guru and be killed thereby themselves. So imitation is condemned. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, in another lecture in Ottadanga in 1926. He said that even a fool can conquer the unconquerable Lord through service, but a so-called learned man cannot conquer him. A devotee follows the statements of the Vedas and does not imitate devotion. It's easy to imitate. We often imitate saints, but imitating a sadhu without following his instructions is insulting to him. When we imitate a sadhu, we artificially shed tears, we shiver, and show many other symptoms of ecstasy. Sometimes, while trying to imitate Gaurasundar and his devotees, we chant the holy name in order to free our village of a cholera epidemic. Or perhaps we recite Srimad Bhagavatam in exchange for money, or do other things. So Advaitam cha parityagya. There's beta and abeta. The disciple is a separable constituent of the guru, and we should respect that disciple because Rupa Namashrita Vishta, that disciple has taken shelter of the deity, of the holy name. Krishna's entered into that disciple. So he's a beta. He's a manifestation, Vishrambena Guru Seva. And on that platform, he can render service to Guru. Otherwise, he can't render service unless he's on that platform of complete surrender. So that's a beta. But there's also a beta aspect. Advaitam cha parityagya. We shouldn't consider that I'm non-different from Gurudev. Srila Prabhupada, in one Vyas Puja offering to his Guru Maharaj, he said that if one simply imitates, then everything will be spoiled. And he said this imitation is going on. So I'll finish with a short story that they tell sometimes in Braj. That Madhavananda, who was an intimate friend of Krishna, he's a Priya Narmasaka, one of Krishna's most intimate friends. One day he was feeling a little unhappy. And Madhavananda, he went to Krishna, he said, Krishna, it's not fair. I'm a Brahmin. And you're just a cowherd boy, Walla. But everybody gives all the ladus to you. Everybody gives all the respect to you. They don't give to me. I should get that. I'm a Brahmin. And Madhavananda said, I've thought about it very carefully, why this misunderstanding is there. And I've thought that the reason is because this peacock feather you have, your vangsi, your flute, and your pitambara dhoti, your yellow dhoti. Krishna, Madhavananda said, can I borrow those from you? And Krishna said, certainly. So that day, Madhavananda dressed up like Krishna with a peacock feather, flute, and his yellow dhoti. And Madhavananda had a very good day. He had to be a little careful because he wasn't quite as beautiful as Krishna. He has a bigger belly than Krishna. But he would kind of put the flute around the corner, peacock feather, a little bit of the dhoti. And the Brij Basis would see, oh, Kanu, Krishna's here, Gopal. And they would give ladus. Madhavananda was having a very good day. Meanwhile, in Mathura, Kamsa was becoming very disturbed. And he had heard that Krishna was killing all the different demons, Kamsa's dear friends, who he was sending to Braj. So Kamsa called for one of his most intimate friends, Keshi. He said, Keshi, I want you to go to Vrindavan and kill Krishna. And Keshi said, you got it, boss, I'm on my way. He said, but how do I recognize Krishna? And Kamsa said, oh, he has a peacock feather, a flute, and a yellow dhoti. Keshi said, okay, I got it, boss. And so he went to Vrindavan, and there Madhavananda was having a very good day with a big pot of ladus and different sweets. And Keshi's looking around, where's Krishna? And he saw Madhavananda. Oh, peacock feather, flute, yellow dhoti, there he is. And so Keshi went running at Madhavananda, and Madhavananda's eyes became very big, and he turned around and started to run, and Keshi just kicked. Keshi didn't even touch Madhavananda, but the wind from his feet hit Madhavananda. Madhavananda went flying through the air, so many meters, and fell down, and he got up, and Madhavananda went running to Krishna. and he's taking off the peacock feather and the dhoti and the flute. And he told Krishna, take these back. I don't want these anymore. So in a similar way, we sometimes try to act like something that we're not. And we try to imitate advanced Vaishnavas. Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha, he says there's basically two kinds of bhakti, sva-śaktibhiḥ and ekaḥ. Sva-śaktibhiḥ bhakti means bhakti which is not real. It's just some imitation. We're pretending to be something that we're not. We want to practice ekaḥ bhakti. In the words of my Guru Maharaj once, he said that your only qualification is your disqualification. The first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called Bishad Yoga, the yoga of lamentation. Bishad is a samas word, is a compound word, two words together, bish and ad. Bish means poison, and ad means to accept. And yoga, this is the way I connect with God, through accepting the poison of reality. So when we accept the poison of reality of our fallen, nasty position, then we can cry to Krishna, we can be a genuine person, and we can fully surrender. We'll have the inspiration. And then we can become a separable constituent of the Guru. We can become a beta like that. But on the way there, we should always think that advaitam cha parityagat, I'm not going to accept that I'm non-different from Guru. So I'm going to stop there. It's 9 o'clock, and I was told to finish on time. I think... I don't know, I'm not used to this assembly. Is there time for one comment or questions or anything? Rameshwar Prabhu, would you have any corrections or anything? I'm very embarrassed speaking in front of you. Please forgive me.
Prabhu, I'm thinking from the beginning of your talk through the middle up until the end, there's like 20, 30 subjects that you wove into a class. And I don't have it all memorized. So I'm not sure what question of what part of your class you would want to hear a question about, other than how do we properly serve? What's the best way to please Guru?
How can we best serve? So Guru has different desires. In his Priti Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami says, Sevanam Chittanubritti. That how do we render service? Chittanubritti. By understanding the mood of Guru. By understanding Srila Prabhupada's mood. By listening to Prabhupada's lectures. It's not so hard. By reading Srila Prabhupada's books regularly. By hearing from the devotees like Rameshwar Prabhu, who had so much intimate association with Prabhupada, it marked them. And they heard what Srila Prabhupada wanted. So we should take all of that on ourselves. We're not just a society for making money. Some people on the other side of the river call this Mayapur, the place of money. We're not just here for money, but we want to surrender to Srila Prabhupada and Prabhupada's desire. And Prabhupada wanted millions of people to come to Mayapur. It's happening. Is that helpful, Prabhu? You want to add anything?
With book distribution.
Okay, maybe one more comment from Mataji here, just real quick. Thank you very much, Prabhu. You've always lived that book distribution for Srila Prabhupada. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I have a question. You mentioned that we can have several gurus, like Diksha Guru, Shiksha Gurus. My question is that the Guru is someone you're supposed to fully surrender to and give your life to. So how can you give your life to several different people? How does that work?
Okay. There's several different gurus. There's also Bhartman Pradarshika Guru, someone who brings you to Krishna. And it's not that we surrender to all of three of them, but Bhaktivinoda says in his commentary, in Trinadapi Sunichena, in his song commentary, he says, Deho Nata Jata Jata, that I give respect according to the person's position. And that's according to the degree of my faith in that person. It's a natural thing. Which is more important, the Siksha Guru or the Diksha Guru? My Guru Maharaj was asked that. And he gets such a nice reply. He said, whoever occupies your heart. So that person that we have in our heart That person we should give the most respect to, we can completely surrender to. You can't surrender to someone if you don't have complete faith. We can take something from them, and I appreciate my parents who are not vegetarians, who are not devotees, but they gave birth to me, they taught me to think. They helped me so much, so I appreciate them. I appreciate anyone and everyone who's helped me on this path, but I don't treat my parents in the same way that I do my guru. Is that helpful?
So it's not that at some point we have 10 different people in our heart. It's like one main person and others.
Thing. My heart is like a small garage, and only one car fits there. But I appreciate other personalities who told me about the garage, who told me about the car, like that. Okay? So I think we should stop there. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ke, Samaveda Bhakta Binda ke, Gaur Premanande.